Israelites, so the emergence of man, the Israelites by the energy of Timeline Books, which is a renowned publishing company, obviously. Let's go to page 35. And as you see, this clearly shows a dark-skinned man. I'm going to read the caption in a minute, which is going to show this image. Okay, clearly a dark-skinned man. I mean, I don't know what you can get from this, man. This is not what the Israelis look like today, man. Okay, now I'm going to read the caption. It says, in this detail of an 1800 BC wall painting from the palace at Mari on the Euphrates River. So this is 1800 BC, man.
1800 years before
A bull adorned with a
Christ.
white crescent and gilded horn tips is led to ritual slaughter by a what? A Semitic tribesman. By a
Semitic tribesman.
wearing a characteristic dress. So
The
this is
Semite.
a Semitic tribesman.
The original
Okay.
Semite.
It was 1800 BC, man. Okay. Let's go to page 50. It says in the caption, painted in the 3rd century AD, this fresco, more than 4 feet high, dramatizes a traditional view of Moses. Okay. Now let's show you the image. It shows Moses. Right. Here's Moses right here. Okay. Dark-skinned man. And these are the other Israelites, the heads of each tribe. Alright? So dark-skinned people. Now,
I'm gonna stop that right there. What's up, guys? I'm gonna stop that right there. But this video, kind of doing, is about the Israelis. Now, I think we need to do a historical. I did this. I played that in the beginning so that I could initially shut up all people off the break with that bullshit that's gonna be with the thumbs down and you're lying or whatever. I like to document everything, you know, or you don't know what you're talking about or whatever. Because before I get to talking, I want to just go ahead and dispel all the bullshit. So now it's been dispelled. Now I'm going to say what I have to say. A Semite is an African or Asian person, right? Let's get this right, people. Let's not rewrite history. Let's not rewrite science, geography, anything else. These people who are currently in power are magicians, are black magicians, meaning they like to put spells on people. Spells are nothing but propaganda, words, different things like that. You know, in a modern sense, it would be the drug. It'd be a spell in a modern sense would be a combination of things like Ritalin, any type of antidepressants, or whatever, even if it's alcohol. Although you notice that the society is permeated with drugs, whether it be prescription or whatever. Okay, that's part of the magical spell. So you give people the drugs, then you give them a constant stream of radio, TV, and print propaganda. And then you give them the propaganda from the leadership. And then you give them the propaganda from the church leaders. And then you give them the propaganda from the academic leaders. All these so-called authorities who are lying and know they are lying. But they're getting paid millions, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, millions, billions of dollars to say what they're saying. So of course they say it, and they're getting threatened. So after years and decades and years of this, it becomes an effective spell, a form of magic that they weave over the population. And the spell that they weaved is that you notice you get all these people like Ben Stein and all these different people come on. And if you challenge people like Benjamin Netanyahu, you challenge the policies of the current Zionist Nazi government that's in Israel. If you challenge the West, the Zion Nazis here that are running this government, and they say, what is the first thing they say? Well, you're an anti-Semite. That's their argument always. They go back to that. You're anti-Semitic. I am here today to destroy that argument once and for all, because they have co-opted not only the religion, they've stolen the land, they co-opted the religion, they have turned reality, they've turned a falsehood into reality, and turned reality into a dream, into falsehoods. These people are ultimate evil. Anybody who can take reality and spin that shit on its head, you should be careful about. And here I'm proving that these people have turned reality upside down. You now live in the twilight zone. Anytime you could take a group of people, European, okay, in origin, European, American, whatever the fuck they from, and then allow them to come into North Africa, the Middle East, take over land, and then claim that they are the original people from that land is fucking ridiculous. The population has to be fucked up, man, to go for that. And a lot of them, it ain't that they fucked up. A lot of them, it fit their bill. You see? They know what's going on, but it fits their bill. For instance, the racist right wing in the United States that support that shit, they don't support Israel because they're righteous. They support them because they're racist, and it fits their racist agenda. They don't give a fuck about North Africans, South Africans, any Africans, right? It's politically correct to say you care, but they don't give a fuck. So when the so-called Jews, who are really Europeans, who adopted that whole concept, some of them knowingly, some of them unknowingly, right? Because when they look in the mirror, they know they're not African or Asiatic. So they got to be either one, extremely stupid, right? Or they know and it just fits the bill. You know what I mean? For instance. So basically it just fits the bill. It serves their purpose. Some people are practicing, Jewish people, and they are Europeans who have adopted the religion. You know what I mean? The Jewish faith. And that's fine. You can do that. Anybody can adopt any religion you want. But you can't claim a race when you're not that race. You can't claim to be black and you're not. You can't claim to be African and Asian and you look in the mirror and you're clearly a white person. That's cognitive dissonance. That's somebody who's mentally ill. Somebody who doesn't understand the reality of a situation is a person who is disconnected from reality. And that's what you have with most of these Jewish people. They're disconnected from reality. Instead of saying, listen, I know I'm not a black person or Asian person, but I practice this particular form of faith. That's fine. They say, listen, I am an African and Asian person, and not only that, am I an African and Asian person, even though when I look in the mirror, I look like George Bush, or I look like Joe Lieberman or Tippi Livy, or I look like I'm from England, or I look like I'm from wherever the fuck wherever Europeans are from, right? But I claim to be African and Asian. You have just turned reality on its head because you're not African and Asian, right? And not only that, I am African and Asian, and I have a right to take some land because God left me this land and all this shit. You know what I mean? So now you done took it to a whole nother level. Right? And anybody who says that they don't agree with what I'm doing is against African and Asian people. They are anti-Semitic. Well, they've turned these terms on their head. And that's because people are ignorant, they're being tricked or whatever. But as we can see from history, and I'll post all the links, an African and Asian, a Semitic person is an African and Asian person. If you say anti-Semitic, you're saying that you are anti-African or Asian. This is something these people can't even use as a defense because they're not African or Asian. So it's a big game being played, and people really need to get hip to the game. All right, and it helps when you're dumb as shit, when you're dumbed down, when you're ignorant, when you live in a bubble. Then and you feed into all this, you go along with all this shit. But when you come out of that bubble, you see that you can start to see what reality really is, and you start to see that everything's been switched around. They hide the books. They online, you can wipe shit on they control the internet for the most part. So you have to dig and find information that's and re-assimilate information that they have disseminated and tried to hide. You know, so I really wanted to do this video because I just did one on what's going on in Israel, Palestine, and I know that you get it. You see the media, you see this whole anti-Semitic thing, and it comes from a lot of uneducated people who are so-called experts who don't know shit. But because they claim to be an expert and they're on TV, people listen to, in the population listen to them and take everything they say as the word of God instead of picking up a book or watching a documentary or doing some research themselves, doing 20, 30 minutes, a half an hour of research instead of watching Dancing with the Stars or a football game or a baseball game, watching this closed circuit loop of nothing, stupid, fucked up information and entertainment, same movies over and over again. Why who's in control of that shit? The so-called Semites, right? They the ones in control of the music and the media industry. Why? Why you think they in control of that shit? So that they can teach you shit that's not true through propaganda and mind control, right? That they learn from fucking Nazis. They learned that shit from the Nazis, right? So there's a big boys and girls. There's a big illusion. There's a big drama. There's a big game being played on you. You know what I'm saying? And you need to, you don't need to, but you should, for the sake of yourself and your family, wake the fuck up to it. Because if you subscribe to all this non-reality, right, you go along with shit that doesn't make sense. And you conduct your life and you wonder why you're broke. Like, damn, I'm always broke. I ain't got no fucking money. Or all this I'm living in a situation where all this tragedy is going on. And, this murder, these wars, the war on drugs, the war on terror, the war on communism, the war on Islamophobics, the war on all this shit, right? And you get drugged into all that shit and you support it with your taxes and you support it with your energy and you let your kids go to war. All this shit happens, right? And people can't seem to understand where it stems from. It stems from your ignorance. It stems from your clinging to a reality that is not reality, clinging to truths that are not truths. Your whole fucking life is a fucking lie. That's the truth. Everything is a lie. Your whole history is a lie. Everything being taught to you is pretty much a lie. The pyramids were built with sticks and wood rollers. All that shit is a lie. They just discovered electricity in 18 whatever. That shit is a lie. You know what I mean? So your whole life is a fucking lie, and you wonder why the quality of the life sucks. Why your job sucks. You know what I mean? Why you feel unfulfilled even though you go to church or you go to these religious people and they throw holy water on you and they say all these incantations over you, these nothing ass incantations, and you wonder why they use this so-called magic of spirituality or religion, whatever they doing, and you wonder why nothing changes. It just becomes stagnant, right? Or becomes worse progressively. It's because you believe in a system that is totally false. You believe in an antichrist system. If you are a Christian, well, your church, your government, everything, your lifestyle is totally antichrist, right? But you can't see it. You think you done bought into the lie, and because you have bought into the lie, you are destroying yourself. And these people are not Semitic. These people are not Semites. They have adopted that whole thing. and taken it over and used it and co-opted not only a religion but a race, right, for political purposes and economic gain, monetary gain, money, resources, land, strategic position for wars, right? And you bought into it. You support that shit. And then if anybody say something about it, they say, "Oh, you anti-Semitic." And you say, "Okay, well maybe I'm anti." You don't even know what the word means. I had a guy like that. I went to the EEOC office because I had been discriminated against. And when I went there, and I filed my complaint, and I went to the office, this guy said, "Yeah, if we," and I recorded it. He said, "If we enforce the discrimination laws against you, that would be akin to socialism." I said, "Really? That's fascinating. What does the word socialism mean, sir?" This asshole didn't even know what the word meant. So here's a guy working for the federal government in the EEOC department, taking complaints, white guy, I'm black, who, because I wanted to file a complaint of discrimination, said that was socialism. And when I asked him what the word socialism meant, this motherfucker didn't even know. These are the type of people that are in charge. These are the type of people that are in charge of the EEOC, that are in charge of the government, in charge of government agencies and bureaucracies, right? These are the people that don't even know the meaning of words that they're using. And you wonder why they can come on TV and say anti-Semite, and people say, "Oh, yeah, you're racist." You don't even know what the fuck that word means. So, a game is being played, ladies and gentlemen. And the key is to know the rules of the game before you play. And know that, saying that you disagree with something that's wrong doesn't make you an anti-Semite. It makes you an intelligent human. Peace.